Suspender, and since Poison Spirit is awesome, we're using that. And then we also got this one. Gargantuan said summons 3 smaller Gargantuan, each more powerful than before. We are going to start off at level... we'll start off at 38. We'll see how we can do. I had some pretty good luck before. We'll see how we can do. I don't know if I'll beat it, but I should do okay. So we got an elite over there. As long as I'm careful where I stand at, I should be okay. I got pretty buff good toughness to survive even up to level 40. If we get some good mob density, I should be okay. Now my Gargantuans are going to be off cooldown for a little bit, and I can't summon them because I'm up to 15 stacks for my cooldown reduction right now out of the Gugaka Swiftness, so I should be okay. I still want to hang a little bit back. I don't want to get too close because I don't have Spirit Walk, and I got Vortex right on the Arcane. That's not the greatest thing, but I mean, it does happen. And like I said, that's just sometimes you get bad luck. For the most part, it's not too bad. In the future, I might look into getting a Hellfire Amulet with Spirit Walk so I can have do-overs, but I mean, even that wasn't too bad. I got my Gargs back up. Just got to keep getting back into the battle, and I just got to be very close. I want to be close enough to get the Grave Injustice, but I don't want to be too close where I get too horrendously beaten up. And we can be a little aggressive with this build. Like, I'll go into mobs and summon Gargantuans. And as long as we just stay remaining aggressive and just, you know, make sure you always summon the Gargantuans and the monsters, because it also does like a little knockback when you summon them as well, too, which is pretty nice. Alright, so I'll go ahead, drop the Gargantuan on top of the monsters, drop my fetishes, make sure I maintain my 15% or 15 stacks of Gugaka Swiftness so I have 15% cooldown reduction. And staying close enough so that when the monsters die I can get the Grave Injustice, and see, just as the Gargantuans go down, I can just resummon them. And it's a pretty chill laid-back build. I mean, once you get to cooldown reduction, you can kind of do whatever you want to do. And, you know, just keep it going. I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it, this build. The reason why we run Ukapin Serpent for this build is mostly in part because you're running so much cooldown reduction, you lose out on a lot of survivability stats and stuff, so it does help out a lot. The additional up to 30% damage goes to dog. It's fantastic, works out pretty well. And as you can see, we're just blazing through 38 with no problem, which I think, and this is with no pylons, so I think as long as you get a good mob density, this build has a capability to go up to maybe 45 with pylons, because I heard they're going to put those back in, and as long as you get good mob density, and you get some decent elites. If you get crazy elites, just like any other build, you're going to have problems. But I mean, that's any build. Any build has problems with certain monsters and certain elite types. So I'm going to try to run back a little bit here. I was able to reach some of those Gargantuan. I can't get in close, but whenever I can get in close, I'll try. If they have Vortex, I would try to stay way far back, but this isn't too bad. I'll try to get close when enemies die, because like I said, that Grave Injustice really helps out a lot, but sometimes you get to a point where, hey, you can't get your, you know, your Gargantuan all the way off cooldown, but I mean, it's better than nothing. Usually, like I said, if you just wait a couple seconds before it comes back up, it's not a bad thing. Trash mobs are a good place where you shouldn't be too afraid to cast your Gargantuan, because you'll get them off cooldown real quick because you're constantly killing monsters. And if your mana runs a little bit low from spamming Hunt, you can just stop for a little bit. It's not the end of the world. You know, but you just still want to maintain your, you know, your 15% cooldown reduction. But I mean, that happens sometimes, and there's not much you can do about it. So most of the time, I'm just looking at my position and make sure I don't die to silly stuff, and making sure I keep my Gargantuan up. And then see, that time I wasn't standing close enough to the enemy to get the Grave Injustice cooldown. You can also probably maybe even use Thing of the Deep if you like to hang back more, and then you could, you know, guarantee you get the Grave Injustice cooldown reduction, but it seems to be doing pretty okay right here. I'm still missing another 8% cooldown reduction, so I don't know if that would push me to the next level where I really wouldn't have to worry about all that, but high cooldown reduction does actually help you in other areas, especially with the Big Bad Voodoo and the fetishes, and not to mention with the Spirit Walk. So this is a pretty good position. On most trash mobs, I don't really worry too much about being too close to them, because most trash mobs are not bad. It's the elites you have to be respectable towards, because some elites can punish you really badly if you're really close. And the main thing I just want to do is always, when you do engage the elites with this build, you want to make sure you drop the Gargantuan on top I'll even summon them right there. You want to summon the Gargantuan on top of the Elite, so he can go in on Elite and do their damage. They crit for about 200 to a little bit higher than that on Elite, so they can decimate, you know, 200 per each Gargantuan. They really can get in there and get quite nasty with the Elites if they actually target the Elite and stuff, but, you know. So we're just slowly pushing through everything. I'm staying close enough so I can get some of those resets on my second, because like I said, you want to be close. See how you just got me a second off? Now I can just recast it again if I needed to. And sometimes I kind of wait to see what kind of mobs I get before I recast it. Like, this is a pretty good mob, because as long as they kill about 5 monsters around me, that's going to give me way more than enough to keep the Gargantuans off the, you know, cooldowns and stuff like that. The Grave Injustice really shines here. But, you know, once I get this, I'm waiting to see what goes live and what doesn't, because I definitely could probably combine it with some different rings and see what's going on, or try some different pieces to maximize the cooldown reduction. Maybe even look into getting cooldown reduction on neck, but like I said, until this stuff goes live, I don't want to waste too much time on PTR, but I mean, I just want to test some of the baseline ideas about the builds and stuff. And we're just running through. I just usually try to look for good mobs, and then I'll resummon them, drop my big bad voodoo. And like I said, I always just try to be around the monsters, because you want to get the cooldown reduction for every monster you kill. This is a new pet build that's only on PTR because of the small man's finger. And I just wanted to give it a try because this reminds me about when everybody was starting to do 0 cooldown reduction back when we used to call Gargantuan Herp the Derp Guard, because he would herp the derp because he was really stupid. And then when Blizzard finally fixed the AI of the pets, they nerfed the shit out of Gargantuan, so now it's kind of come back a little bit, so now we can kind of test everything and see how things go. So, I mean, it's doing pretty good. This is Paragon level. This is like level 38. We're pretty ahead. So, like I said, it could do 40 pretty comfortably, I'd imagine. As long as you don't get too many crazy mobs. This has been pretty nice so far for the mobs. They're pretty straightforward. No Anarchs, no Exarchs, no nothing too crazy. So, I'm pretty appreciative of that. And then, see, like, I'll drop it right on top of the Elite. Then I'll back up, and then I'll respect the Elite because I don't know what type of Elite he is. Looks like he got Thunderstorm. Vortex, so it means I need to save my Spirit Walk for when he Vortex. Thunderstorm, Horde, Plague, you know, so I might have to wait a couple seconds for my Gargantuan, but that's completely normal. So I'll Spirit Walk in, redrop the Gargantuan on top of him because it knocks him back, and then I'll position myself a little back because I don't want him to Vortex when my Spirit Walk's down. My Spirit Walk's back up. See, there's any globes? No globes, so I'm getting pretty low, so I'm going to have to play this kind of safe. He can still Thunderstorm me, but I'm waiting for my potion to cool down to get done. Potion came off cooldown. Go back in there, redrop the guards. He just Vortexed. So sometimes you gotta slow your roll, but I mean, that's okay. And as long as I'm not waiting more really than like 5 seconds in between guards, that's perfectly fine. Another set of enemies. I'll drop Garg as close as I can get as soon as he comes off cooldown. There we go. Gargantuan off cooldown. There we go. Actually, the funny thing is when he said hi YouTube, anything you guys say will show up in the video on YouTube. He's like, hi YouTube. Crickle called is like, hi YouTubes. Now we're just taking it easy because we're getting to the Greater Rift boss. We got plenty of time to clear it, so we're not going to rush it too much. We're just going to play safe. We don't want to take on any unnecessary deaths. And we're going to keep it moving. There we go. We're looking pretty strong here. We got some crazy monsters right here, so I want to play it a little safe. Don't want to get too crazy. At least until my potion's off the cooldown. I feel pretty good at this life. There's no elites, so I don't have to worry about suddenly dying or getting vortexed. And it looks like we're doing okay. And got my life back, resummon the Gargantuan. We're gonna go ahead and just let my mana regenerate a little bit, even though I don't really need to. There we go. Roof Guardian should be coming up. We got plenty of time to kill him. And keep in mind, this is on the PTR when they got rid of all the pylons, so this is all natural. No pylons, nothing extra. If we had pylons, I'd probably be a little bit further ahead right now. Just gotta get away, but you gotta be careful. I don't want to take an unnecessary death. Gotta play it cool until I can get my HP pot in. What are we going against? Oh, there's a health globe right there. Pretty straightforward. Drop the big bad voodoo. Save my spirit walk when he does his rocks. He is a dick when he drops rocks, because the rocks come down fairly quickly. We drop the Gargantuan. Oh, that was bad. See, I'm too close. I need to kind of distance myself. There we go. There goes the rocks, so I don't have to worry about those for a while. And you can see the Gargantuan's really putting a good amount of damage. Now, I don't really have any enemies to kill, so the Gargantuans are just already down right now. But see how I only have to wait a couple more seconds right before I repop them? That's acceptable. I'd like to try to get it down to the point where by the time the 15 seconds are done, I can recast it. But if I get to that point, I still think that's enough. I mean, that's okay. That's close enough, you know. I mean, to get cooldown reduction to the point I think where you can actually be able to do that, you would need so much. I mean, I'm already pushing a ton of cooldown reduction already, but like I said, it's not too bad. And the build is very enjoyable. You know, you make the exception because the Gargantuan Raffle Protector is the strongest one out of all three because that damage percent increase is crazy at the cost of it only being out at 15 seconds at a time. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and move on to level 39. Somebody asked a good question. Do you need a Ring of Royal Grandeur? No, you do not. If you're doing solo, you will want to use it with Unity, but if you are in a group, you can use Tall Man's Finger and Small Man's Finger, and I actually imagine if you did the fire one and had good cooldown reduction, probably would be a pretty solid build. That's why I hope they move Unity Ring to a follower item only to get the 50% damage mitigation, because if I could run Tall Man's, that would be amazing, because I would be able to get a lot of AoE damage from the zombie dogs, and that would be great. And it would combo in with the Occupant Serpent really well. But at the end of the day, it's ultimately Blizzard who decides that. So if you want to suggest that, I know I might suggest that inside the forums. I know it's been suggested already. But a lot of people just like to be very kind of negative when they think about the idea of removing the Unity Ring. You know, because we only use it in solo. We don't use it in groups. People want to use it to get the 50% damage mitigation. Why not put it on your follower, and then you can have different cool builds and everybody's still getting the 50% damage reduction, and in seasons you don't have to worry about looking for a Unity Ring every single season, looking for 2 Unity Rings in the follower item that makes it so they don't die. So I think that's a great idea. The Gargantuans do 200 million damage each. Keep in mind I do have pretty much stacked gear, but that's how much they do per. When they crit, at least. And then I got my poison damage on the enemies. Mob density looks really good for this level. We'll have to wait and see how this is going to go, though. Depends on how the elites are. I'm going to step back a little bit because these monsters are getting a little bit crazy. Pop the potion. It looks like we're doing okay. There we go. And there's another elite, but this one actually is mortar, so we'll see how this is gonna go. I'm gonna have to play this one safe. It's just better not to die. And kite backwards if I need to. You know, do the best I can. My gargantuans are dead right about now, which means they'll be coming off cooldown fairly soon. Playing safe is the major thing we want to do here. Oh, see, I got instantly charged by that monster. I didn't see that horns charger. I just happened to come out of Spirit Walk right when he was there. But luckily, I got everything off cooldown so I can resume the battle. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of difficult sometimes when you're not running Spirit Vessel. If I had a Spirit Vessel, I just would have popped that and came back to life. But, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm just trying to watch myself. And just sit in the back here. Sometimes you just get the absolute worst not Rift Guardians, but elites. But this isn't too bad. At least his minions didn't have at least he didn't have Hoarder Mortar, which is terrible. That's just like Mega Man mode when you have to dodge a bunch of fireballs on the screen. And that one's dead, and we're still ahead. We're doing pretty good here, so that was pretty much the right decision to kind of hang back. Because like I said, I don't want to take any unnecessary deaths, and deaths you do take in the Greater Rifts do eventually add up. That can make the difference between beating a Rift Guardian or losing. And we're just keeping it chill. Oh, the reason I'm running Zunimasa is because I can't run it with all the stuff that I'm running. I can't get the amount of cooldown reduction and everything I want to do and while running Zunimasa to obtain and do what I need to do. And with Zunimasa currently, I don't believe they added the pants in yet, but with Zunimasa, you have to use the ring, the Zunimasa Pox, and you have to use the Ring of Royal Grandeur, so I wouldn't be able to use a small man's finger if I was using Zuni, and since I'm making a small man's finger build, if I can't use a ring, I really can't consider it a small man's finger build. And I'm actually going to have to stand the fuck back because that's the second Horn Charger I died to, and this is really starting to cost me a lot of time, so I'm going to play hyper safe now. I'm not doing this no more because those monsters are quite ridiculous. Because their charge damage is absolutely crazy. So I gotta take it real easy because now I'm gonna start getting to the point where the Death Pine penalties are actually making a big deal. If I keep getting a good mob density and I play this side, I probably will be able to pass this. Not too much problems. I just need to get a steady amount of trash mobs in combination with some non-crazy elites, and I can make up for those 2 deaths. Well, yeah, like I said, you could do tall man, small man's finger, but I just took all that damage, and I have an okay amount of toughness, and I also have Ukapin Serpent. If you don't have a Unity Ring, and this, I have the Unity Ring on with the Ukapin Serpent and the 10% damage mitigation from dogs. So if you didn't have the tall mans, you would die very easily. I always tell people, try running Greater Rifts as pet without Unity Ring and see how far you get. It's not the fact that we couldn't try these wonderful, fantastic builds. It's just that the survivability, it will get very frustrating. If you thought Jade was bad, it's 10 times worse with pets. Well, your Audible Bracer's homegrown. You can actually roll poison or you can run physical. Depends on what you want to do. If you're running physical property build, I mean, the physical works better with the fetishes because you get 23 fetishes out there all physical. That's pretty nice. Because the ones from passive will always be physical. Or if you want to use something like a zombie dog or you just like poison, you can go poison as well. Nothing's wrong with either. Either one has their pros and cons. But I always will say pretty much physical and poison are the best options you can go for a pet build. With Broken Promises, I think it'll be good, but I don't think it's going to make it to the server because that's kind of a little bit crazy. We're doing pretty good. Nani, doing this Great Rift level 39 with this small man's finger build. Trying to make some strides with it. We'll see how the Rift is going to treat me. Took 2 kind of unnecessary deaths. That was my fault. But as long as the Greater Rift keeps on giving me a good amount of mobs to use, I think we'll be able to pass this okay. We don't have any pylons in the game right now because they took them out because of a bug on PTR. So I'm running this without any pylons. So if we clear it, it's pretty much just out of us just killing monsters straight up. We're not using any conduit pylons or channeling or anything like that to get ahead, which is pretty cool. I actually prefer it this way. It's a lot more entertaining in my honest opinion to have it like this as opposed to have the, you know, conduit shrines and stuff like that. But I will say it's nice to have the conduit shrines when you're behind a little bit, you know. Going up the stairs. Drop the gargantuan. And they're doing pretty good damage. Cool. We got a little bit of a game there. We're doing okay. Gotta be careful with the ranged monsters. But still want to stay close so I can get the Grave Injustice cooldown bonus. The Gargantuan's almost off. I'm gonna have to wait a couple seconds, but that's okay. You know what, let me go all the way to the utmost path before I go immediately right, because there might be some good monster mobs right here. That was a pretty good mob clear. Very easy mobs. Nothing too complicated or crazy. Ooh, man, that lightning really hurts. Luckily they killed it. I don't like those things because with Jade they one-shot me on the greater rifts I'm at. Those little electric things cause so much problems. I don't know why. They're like little dastardly things. You gotta hate it when destructible environments take it out for you or have it out for you. Pretty good here. About to redrop another set of gargantuans. Right there. And, oh, see. I hope they attack that thing. Okay, they got rid of it. Good. And we're looking alright. Cutting it kind of close. We really do. What we need is an easy elite. There goes an elite. That looks like an easy one. I'm gonna redrop my gargantuans. And I want to sit back here and chill until I know what all the affixes are. Okay, so one's Waller, one's Reflect. They have minions, so I just have to play this safe and I should be okay. Doesn't look like they have Vortex. Had Vortex, but that's not a big deal. Cool, that died. Spirit, the fucking walls holding me in. Ooh, a bunch of fucking monsters. They came out of nowhere. Good mob density so far, but I don't know if I have enough time to beat the Rift Guardian. We'll see. If I get an easy one, I might be able to do it. If I can get 2 more elites that are pretty easy and straightforward to kill, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. That was actually a very good room. I actually gained a little bit out of that, which is pretty nice. There we go. Got an elite. Hopefully it's an easy one. And my cooldown for my Garg is ready. I'm going to Spirit Walk in, drop Garg right on top of it, then run out. Try to dodge all this different stuff. Hopefully the Gargantuans can do a little bit of work. Ooh. Got him. That was the first one. I need to be careful. Almost ran in there too easy and died. Took a bad death. That one's getting pretty low. We got one more. Spirit Walk in and drop the Garg right on top of it. Get that elite down. Very good. Good health goal gains. Alright. gotta be careful here. How I do here in this next couple of segments will determine if I beat it, and a little bit of luck from the Rift Guardian, right? If I get a crazy one, I won't beat him. If I get a fairly easy one, then there should be no problem. I'll have plenty of time to kill it. There we go. Looking pretty good. Looking really good right now. Right on. Looking really solid right here. Oh, got a spirit walk. Gotta be careful. I want to be close, but not too close, because I think there's something that dashes. I think that was an Anarch. Yeah, it was an Anarch. I think I got this. And I think I might have enough time for the Rift Guardian. Don't like those Anarchs or XRs. That was the first ones I've really been dealing with this whole run. Okay, should be spawning the Rift Guardian very soon here. Any moment. Definitely really soon. Got it. This one is kind of... We should be okay. We should. I don't know. The damage is pretty good right now. I'm just gonna dance around the room. I'm gonna spread out the big bad voodoo so I have... Whenever I move, I'm not gonna run out of it. And Gargantuan is down. That's okay though. He'll be up in another 5 seconds. He's a big damage dealer. Drop the Gargantuan again. I think we're okay. As long as I don't take any stupid deaths, but I probably might just jinx myself by saying that. All I gotta do is just make sure I keep up the stacks of Han on it, or the Gugok, because you really want to have 15 for that 15% cooldown reduction, so you can make sure you can keep on summoning these Gargantuans, because they're the ones that put in the major damage on the boss. I don't have a Spirit Walk, kind of low on life, so I'll Spirit Walk right now, just in case he tries to do anything silly. And I'm waiting for my potion cooldown, but it looks like he'll be dead. So we did that one pretty well. We had a minute 13 left. That was pretty... I won't say I was solid. I made some mistakes on my part. But considering everything, I think I did okay. Oh, I think we got that new sword that makes it so that it reduces the cooldown. Or maybe I could be incorrect. Let's take a look. I think that's the sword. No. Attacking enemies below 21% life freezes them for 3 seconds, which is pretty